So, good morning to you, Sharon, and welcome to ISWAN Talk sessions today.
Oh,
Thank you very much for joining us today.
it's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you about our work, Chirag. So I know we've worked together for, oh gosh, we was on the IPWP, International Port Welfare Project, wasn't it, back in, when we started, back in 2015, I think. So it's a pleasure to join you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor for us to have you here today. And we understand you have such a busy schedule and to take out time so that we can try and make some awareness among our Indian seafarers audience is something which should be extremely thankful to you and MNWB for considering.
It's the least we can do.
Merchant Navy Welfare Board.
Sorry?
Now, I'm saying the Merchant Navy Welfare Board is very an important institution in UK, which looks after all the port welfare committees of the UK and is also the National Welfare Board of the UK. So we are privileged that Sharon is able to join us today. And we'll be in this next 30 minutes, we'll be discussing about the importance of port welfare boards and how they improve the seafarers' welfare when the ships and the seafarers visits the ports. Seafarers, if you're listening to us, if you have any questions about the port welfare of seafarers in the ports, about your experiences you have in different ports in the world, on how they have been looking after the seafarers' welfare, please put up something in the chat box. We'll be more than happy to take on your questions towards the end of it. Sharon, are you ready for a few questions from my side?
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so can you just, for the first question is, can you please provide an overview of Merchant Navy Welfare Board and the essential work that you have been doing out in the UK ports to enhance the welfare services, which is available to the visiting seafarers?
Right. No. So MNWB, as was sort of affectionately known as, we shorten it, so it's Merchant Navy Welfare Board, is an umbrella charity for the fishing and merchant navy fleets in the UK, and we support and promote cooperation between organisations that provide welfare services to seafarers and fishers within UK ports. And I have to add, they also provide support to dependents as well and families as well. And we were formed originally in 1948 by the government, and we most recently last year celebrated our 75th anniversary. And we have in total 45 constituent members, charities, and we run various working groups. So for example, we have an older seafarers and families forum and a serving seafarers family forum that tackle ongoing current issues that seafarers face within the UK. And as you mentioned about our port welfare committees, Sharad, we have a network of port welfare committees covering UK ports, so 15 in total within the UK, and we have a Seafarers Welfare Board in Gibraltar as well. In addition to that, we do various projects, and also we run a Seafarers Support Helpline. We fund also training courses as well, and programs and projects that help benefit seafarers within that visiting UK ports. So hopefully that's given you a...
Thank you very much.
We do.
Absolutely. I think,
summarise it in one line, Chirag, but hopefully that'll give you a sort of indication of some of the work that we do.
Absolutely. I think that's something which is, every seafarer, when they visit the port, they look forward to have some kind of a welfare facility so that they can get connected with their families at home. They would like to connect with their other colleagues. They want to spend some time with them. So yes, definitely, the important work that you have been doing in UK, along with the other port welfare committees and the various partner organizations. So I'm sure that seafarers will now understand a little bit more better that how does it all operates out. So thank you very much for your introduction, Sharon. So just moving forward on my next question is about, can you elaborate on the significance of having a national welfare board and the role of the port welfare committees, highlighting the positive impact that they can have on the life of seafarers?
So, in effect, Chirag, our port welfare committees are sort of our jewel in the crown, really, because they have direct access to organisations that support seafarers when they're visiting UK directly. So we have 15 in total around the UK, and they cover all of the UK and ports within the UK, and also Northern Ireland, Belfast as well. And as I mentioned before, we have a Seafarers Welfare Board in Gibraltar, which our role really, we're very lucky compared to a lot of countries. I think we're the only one with internationally that we're able to manage. We have Port Welfare Committee managers, so they're employed by MNWB, and their role is to coordinate, set up the meetings. They're in effect they're informing them what the board's doing, and also they bring back issues to us in current issues that may be relevant or important for us to try and need to act on to help seafarers when they're visiting UK ports. They really are integral to our work and essential, and the contribution made by the members helps us to better understand the issues that seafarers are affected by internationally and nationally as well, and regionally as well. They act as a communication and information network channel, and local members, or between local members, and each committee comprises of representatives from organisations concerned with the welfare of seafarers within visiting local seafaring community. So members include government agencies such as Maritime Coast Guard Agency, police, border force. We have maritime charities that support seafarers within that region, maritime trade unions such as ITMT, port authorities, port health authorities, and ship owners as well. The meeting, we have three meetings a year, and we have a combined membership of over 360 members, all the committees, and they have an AGM, which is an annual general meeting each year towards the end of the year, where they look at membership, but also they vote in the chair and the vice chair as well. So if you an overall,
sure.
Just going back.
That's helpful to know a bit about the port welfare committees and how they function.
Yeah, and just slightly, if I just cover the National Seafarers Welfare Board, we were recognised, although we've been doing the role informally, we've been recognised, we were recognised in 2021 as the UK's National Seafarers Welfare Board. And, you know, without blowing our own trumpet, but we're the most advanced coordinated welfare system in the world, really. We're very lucky, and the Maritime Coast Guard Agency and MNW work very closely, and we signed an MOU together to boost seafarer welfare for the merchant navy fishers within the UK. So it's really good to get that formal agreement for us, because it sets out how we'll work together in accordance with the ILO MLC 2006.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you very much. I'll just move on to the next question. Are there any specific success stories or initiatives resulting from these port activities that you would like to share?
Well, actually, when I say the Port Welfare Committees are integral to our work, most of our projects actually have been born from the Port Welfare Committee. So our longest standing project is one called the Vehicle Replacement Project, which was jointly funded by a maritime charity to provide transport for safe and reliable transport for the port chaplains and ship visitors, and that's really vital to the work they do, because a lot of them work in quite remote areas, and without the transport they wouldn't be able to get to the ports or visit families within that region. We also have a MiFi project which started, I think, 2020, and that was jointly funded by MNWB, initially by MNWB and ITF Seafarers Trust as a pilot project, and it's expanded to, we now have funding by the Department for Transport, MNWB House. That provides internet access to seafarers when they're actually visiting and they can't come ashore. So the visitors, ship visitors and chaplains will take a MiFi device on board, and the seafarers can access up to about 20 at a time, can access the MiFi download stream, get in touch with their family and friends. So that's a really good project that we're quite very proud of. We have a whistleblowing service as well for staff of constituent members. So it's a platform where people can, in effect, confidentially make a whistleblowing or make or raise concerns about safeguarding or any issues within their organisation. We also have, which we're very proud of, is a seafarer support helpline, specifically for UK seafarers and their families, but we also do get a number of calls from international seafarers needing help, and we signpost them to, quite often to ISWAN and the helpline and any other organisations that may be able to help. And the most recent project we had was in conjunction with Vodafone, and they supplied SIM cards, which we were able to give to Ukrainian seafarers to be able to contact their families following the Russian and the Ukrainian conflict. So that was a very, and in total, I understand there was a value with the cards that were nearly £1 million. So that was a huge coup for us to actually provide that service for the Ukrainian seafarers.
No, definitely. I think there's a lot of work been done, and we are very proud to be associated with MNWB in doing some of that activities as well. So absolutely. And I think your organization has also released a recent report mentioning about that UK government need to make it mandatory to for a port levy scheme which that can help in improving the welfare of seafarers in the ports. So can you just give a brief outline about that report and how can the port levy can be instrumental in sustaining the port welfare committees?
Yeah, I mean, the report is really pivotal to giving an overview of the provision, the welfare provision within the UK. And I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank everybody who's involved in that, for all the volunteers and the paid staff that helped provide the information that we needed to actually get the results of the report. If I just summarise very briefly some of the findings. So, for example, only 10% of the 120 major ports and minor ports within the UK have a voluntary levy system in place. So it's only a very small amount, each of which have had like a fixed amount and are based on tonnage that come in. The charities, the maritime charities, are expected to spend approximately 4.8 million on port welfare provision annually, and they provide 44 seafarer centres within the UK, where there are 4 staff volunteers, include sort of staff that are based at head offices. That's sort of within the port welfare provision, the direct provision. There are 77 vehicles within the UK that are transport seafarers, and we have a total of currently 39 MiFi units. Actually, sorry, 38, I think, because one of them got lost when travelling somewhere internationally on one of the ships. So, but we've got 38 MiFi units which provide onboard connectivity. Which obviously this isn't sustainable for the maritime charity, so hence the reason why we're looking to hopefully implement or get the government to implement a welfare levy. Of the welfare levies that are actually in place, they only represent 3 to 4% of the total funds, so that gives you an indication of how much the charities spend on welfare provision. With regards to seafarer centres, only 51% of the major port and the minor ports do not have a seafarer centre. Overall, one of the recommendations from the report is we would like to see a seafarer centre certainly in the major and minor ports within the UK. Be that provision sort of a standalone porter cabin which is open 24 hours, which will have Wi-Fi, a warm, comfort, where people can actually, seafarers can actually just get some warm comfort, some time off the ship, but also contact their family and friends as well. Another significant, which really did surprise us, that only 35% of the workforce is paid, and the rest is made up of volunteers, which shows you the dependence on volunteers. And in terms of the welfare levy, in terms of if every ship paid £100 when it visited UK ports, based on, for example, 100,000 ships visiting a year, that would raise £10 million, which could be reinvested into the welfare. So that's quite a significant amount. So hopefully that gives you a brief overview of the report.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very important for them to sustain, and I think there's a lot of projects that can be done for the welfare of seafarers. And I'm sure some of the listeners who are there in today's call can also share their experiences in the chat box when they have visited UK ports. How do you find the services there? And did you ever went out and use the Seafair Center or any other welfare activity that you may have been provided when you were there in the UK port? So please feel free to put up some of your stories in the chat box. We would love to hear that as well as we move along to my next question, Sharon. And that's about, that we have learned so many things, that so many new projects that you do, so many new activities that has been, that are being going on. But along with that, there comes the challenges as well. So what are the primary challenges of your organization when you implement all of these projects, which look after the seafarers' welfare?
Well, one of our, I guess, one of the things where we pride ourselves in, Chirag, is collaboration and bringing everybody together. And we try to ensure an integrated approach to the provision of welfare and the most effective use of MCA and MMWB resources to use the expertise in order to comply with seafarers' welfare provision under MLC. And also the C18 and the most newest convention, C18, which is a working fishing convention. So for over, I guess for over 70 years, we've brought everybody together and enabled, provided a forum for those organisations to support the welfare of seafarers. So I guess the biggest challenge, I think, and it's really every organisation, every maritime charity has their own objectives, I guess, and for us, a bigger challenge is really working together to obviously meet the objectives of MLC within the UK, but also work in a way that brings everybody together. And I guess the challenge is really that because other organisations or charities have their own objectives, is really getting everyone to focus on welfare for seafarers. And all the maritime charities that we work with really do that. I mean, we're in awe of the work they do, but sometimes it can be quite difficult to get everybody together because they've got their own objectives. But generally, the collaboration in the UK is exemplary, really is. But it's because everyone has different objectives, different times, different priorities. That could be a challenge to get everybody together and working in the same like-minded way.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. It's not easy to bring together, first of all, so many different partners together, and also to have their diverse views and thoughts and come out with, the single headed project. So I think it's really a hats off to you and your team for bringing all that possible for the seafarers who visit the UK ports. And besides that, you mentioned some of the collaborators already. I would like to just take a step further from here and say that is the shipping industry is one of that collaborators who collaborate with you. What about the maritime administrations, the government, and other port authorities? What are their responses when you go and discuss the projects with them? So do they also collaborate with you on these initiatives?
Yes, they do. And we're very lucky because we've got a number of our chairs, and we do encourage it for our port welfare committees to be harbour representatives from the harbours, and we have some very long-standing, I guess, the seafarers. Basically, they have seafarers experience, so and they're very committed to the work of MNWB. So we're really, really lucky on that front. We have very, very close links with MCA. We had, or we still do have, sorry, for a long, from the last probably about 10 years.
Um, Sorry, I think I missed the connection.
In terms of seafarers' needs and connectivity and shore leave, they really continue to be an important aspect for seafarers' welfare. And you ask any seafarer what's the first thing they want to do when they come ashore, it's probably contact family. So connectivity is a huge thing. And I think from our perspective, seafarers do have a right to expect similar working conditions to those working ashore. And if employers aren't prepared to provide a workplace that offers these basic necessities, the opportunity to connect with family, diet, nutritional diet, time away from the workplace, then it can have a significant effect on the reputation of ship owners. And in the long term, it may affect their reputation. So the results, hopefully the results from our UK Port Welfare Survey will, certainly for the shipping companies, will highlight the seafarers' needs. And 69% of them believe that more needs to be done to improve connectivity on ships. So this is really still an ongoing issue in today's current climate. I have to say, when I was a seafarer myself, only for a short time, Shirek, I was I left 1997, and my role was the connectivity, I guess all the communications on board the ship. So I worked in the radio office. I used to do all the telephone calls, albeit a lot of the time it was satellite. And a big issue then, back in '96, was communication. And the only way seafarers had, I was lucky because when we got alongside, sometimes in the bigger ports, we got a landline. So I used to take advantage of that and put it through to crew and stuff like that so they could call family and friends. But quite often when you didn't get that, the only way you could call someone was when you went ashore. Things have moved on, thankfully, in time, 20, 30 years ahead, but still it's a big issue that needs to be resolved. I think for seafarers, connectivity is the main thing.
We are still talking always about the connectivity issues still there, and seafarers still not been able to fully have the internet issues, or internet is still not available free of cost to them. And as what, on the land, we have so much of progress. On board ships, they still face a lot of challenges. But I'm sure that when they come in the ports, and the facilities that they can avail, especially in the UK ports, is something which I think the other ports in the world would also be looking at it. And I'm sure that, and I'm totally aware that how much involvement of the MNWB is there to help other ports also to develop the port welfare committees. And so in that respect, would you like to share something, Sharon, about your international perspective of the port welfare things, and also some of the future plans that you may have as part of MNWB?
Brilliant, thank you. Well, just on that note, the end of last year, Stuart, our chief executive, met with members of IMO to try and see if there's anything that MNWB could do to help support them in regards to establishing national seafarers welfare boards, because I think there's actually only 6 in the whole of internationally. So we're very keen to help organisations sort of establish welfare boards, and they've expressed an interest for us to try to work alongside them. So we're looking in the next probably about a couple of years to actually provide a training course. As you know, we used to have the International Port Welfare Partnership, which helped. Part of that was to actually go out and support countries to establish port welfare committees, and we did a number. We, very luckily worked with a lot of very committed individuals who really did see the value of port welfare committees, and we have established committees in Durban, Mombasa, Richard Bay, so all quite significant countries, but there's still an ongoing need for them. So hopefully we do plan on doing a training course so that we can spread the word much more rather than word of mouth, really. So that's one of our main objectives, is in addition to the priorities of the next 5 years really are to drive up welfare standards in the UK through a port accreditation. So that's one of our objectives. Also want to pursue port levies, or welfare rather, for welfare services, and increase the availability of welfare services and facilities in the ports throughout the UK. So in 111 major and minor ports, and we have also 400 harbours as well, which unbelievably we didn't realise that many until we did the research for the port welfare provision. So we will keep working hard to ensure the best support is provided. And myself, even though we're not formally set up to provide support to international, we're always there and keen to extend our expertise and our knowledge to help improve seafarers' welfare provision.
No, I think that's very privileged to hear from you about it, and I really feel as a seafarer, former seafarer, that we should have this port welfare provisions or welfare committees and the boards and facilities for the seafarers in different parts of the world. And I really admire that one day we will achieve that. And although it's already part of the MLC, still some of the member states may not be well aware about it. And I think that's where our work goes on and on, to try and lobby around with the member states to have these welfare committees in the ports and to have better facilities because I feel that that's the only time that the seafarers can unwind themselves. They can get a refresh and regenerate with their fellow colleagues. It not only helps in improving their own health and well-being, but it also helps in the overall building up a new team together, ironing out the differences that they may have of working together 24/7 when they are on board. And it's time for them to reunite and go back and do a safe and produce a safe working environment on board as well. So I hope that this messaging goes out to everyone who is listening to us, and many more who might look at this video a bit later. But I just want to wish you, thank you very much, Sharon, for sharing your expert views today. We have a couple of questions, I feel, that we would like to direct to you. Any last comments, Sharon, before I start on the questions, please?
No, just one thing I forgot to mention when you were talking about National Seafarers Welfare Board. One of the other things that we're in the process of developing, and it's nearly finished actually, is a UK National Seafarers Welfare Board website. And that will have resources available for people who would like to, or how to start a welfare board or port welfare committee. But we're also looking to develop a forum of the current National Seafarers Welfare Boards around the world. And a part of that remit will be supporting them in the work they do, but also helping countries develop their own National Seafarers Welfare Board. So that's a really good resource, which we're looking forward to going live on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sharon. One question is there that does this port welfare committees help in shore leaves issues? Because we seafarers normally face a lot of issues around getting shore leaves. So how can the port welfare committee help in that?
Well, funny enough, funny enough, but that was a huge, as you're aware, Shrek, I'm sure seafarers are aware, when we had the pandemic or COVID, that was that was a significant issue for seafarers getting shore leave. Generally, if there are problems with the crew getting shore leave, the chaplains or the ship visitors will make us aware at the Port Welfare Committees, and part of that is that we can contact or representatives from NWB or work closely with the chaplains and the maritime charities to discuss this with the shipping company, and really also feed into the government as well, because we report on when at the end of each quarter, or not quarter, each round of our Port Welfare Committees, we do a report to the Department for Transport and MCA, which highlights the recurring issues, and quite often there may be shore leave, or for example connectivity, or an issue relating to access for the ship visitors. So we will, or health and safety, we report regularly to DFT, and in effect take that forward on behalf of the welfare provider.
I know the answer, but still I would like to direct it to you. My next question is, like, can PW, the Port Welfare Committee, help a seafarer suffering contractual issues?
Can what, sorry? So with contractual issues, is that, Chirag?
Yes.
Well, we also work, like I mentioned earlier, is we have ITF. We're very lucky. We have a number of ITF inspectors who are members. They cover all the regions, so they often feedback specific issues that they've come across regarding contracts, blacklisting, or any concerns that they've come across. So they will feed into the PwC, and also where they'll work very closely with the chaplains, the seafarer centres, to help resolve any specific issues for individuals, so that they do feed into our Port Welfare Committees and make us aware of anything that we need to be aware of, or people on the committee need to be aware of, that may be a recurring issue. So yeah, they do feed in to us any issues, and they do a fantastic job. They really do, and I know they work very closely.
Yeah. I'll just take the last question for the day, and it's about the helpline for MNWB. You mentioned about the MNWB does have a helpline. So can you just again maybe elaborate a little bit for whom it is for, that helpline, and how can the seafarers access to it?
So we do have a helpline for merchant seafarers, fishers, and their dependents or the family, and that's specifically set up for UK seafarers. So, but we do get a number of calls from international seafarers, and in that case, although we're not funded to actually help them with financial support or anything like that, we do signpost, and on a number of occasions we have referred to ISWAN, and they've accessed an emergency grant or what have you. But generally what we do, or what our welfare team does, is, so we have a call, for example, we have a seafarer may be suffering financial problems, or they may be suffering relationship problems or mental health. Our welfare team will signpost them to a maritime charity. Now, if for example, they need say for a mobility aid, or some help them with a mobility, then we will refer them to the other maritime charities, our constituent members, who provide grants to assist them. We also help, we have a number of requests for training as well, and that's an ongoing issue, getting funding for people to register or upgrade or get further training, and they can't afford to, so we try to we do refer them to other organisations that may provide grants for their ongoing training. So really, I guess we're like we'd say clearinghouse, but we signpost to the most relevant support that the seafarer would need. Although, and we have also on our website, Chirag, we have on the Seafarer support website, which is www.seafarersupport.org. We also have a page specifically for international seafarers, so that will direct them to the best organisations if they need assistance. So we do encourage. Although we're set up specifically for UK, we do help and we do signpost international seafarers as well.
Thank you, Sharon. I hope that answers also one of the other questions that was there in the chat about how can the international seafarer seek support. So please reach out to MNWB or directly to ISWAN as well on the Seafarer Help Helpline, and we'll be happy to help you out with your queries. So with that, I would like to again thanks Sharon for taking her valuable time out, giving us a lot of today awareness about the importance of port welfare committees, welfare boards in the ports, and how can the seafarers' welfare can be looked after. So thank you very much, Sharon and MNWB, for your guidance. Thank
can
you.
I just say just one line? Sharon,
Yes.
we had no seafarers at all. There would be no shipping, no shopping, and the ride for halt. So from myself and everyone on MNWB and everyone at ISWAN, I'd say thank you to all the seafarers out there for all the work and commitment you do, and we really, really do value you. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you to all the seafarers once again for tuning in today and listening to us, and especially for your questions and your interactions today. So thank you very, very much. And we'll meet you again next month and with a different topic. And we look forward to have more interactions and with you. So all the very, very best. Safe sail, everyone.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shirag.
Thank you.